So don't worry about it. Like Julia Child used to say when she was cooking, when something fell on the floor, you can pick it up. It's fine. Don't stress about it. It's just makeup. Hey everyone, today we are going to do a look of products that will help you when you're not exactly looking your best. If you've been following me over on Instagram, and I've mentioned it here on YouTube, I had my face lasered. I had a combination procedure process, whatever, Moxie and BBL. One is a non-ablative laser. Basically, the two together address brown spots and red spots, and then skin rejuvenation. The Moxie is the skin rejuvenation. So my face is still swollen. It is still Triscuity. Now, if you don't know what a Triscuit is, some people might not know what a Triscuit is, I'll put up a picture of a Triscuit. Basically, my skin feels like sandpaper. And for the first 5 days, you are not allowed to exfoliate. You are not allowed to chemically exfoliate for quite some time. But after 5 days, you can physically exfoliate. But I was concerned because my skin is super sensitive. So I found an exfoliator, a physical exfoliator that works extremely well for me. This was sent to me, but I've been using it for a while. This is the Amora Visa. Getting it right. This is the Amora Visa Refining Facial Polisher. And it has like almost, it's the color, let me just show you, because I'm trying to like the best way to explain it. It's almost a little oily. I know it sounds weird for a polisher, but it's green and it has a very nice scent to it. Anyway, you rub it in like this and it gets lighter and lighter and you leave it on your skin for a little bit and then you wash it off with water, just regular water. I'm just going to wipe it off. But it refines your skin, exfoliates your skin, but it's very gentle. Like it doesn't hurt. I did it today and it didn't irritate my skin at all. It never has irritated my skin, but it didn't irritate my skin now that it's been lasered. So my skin definitely feels better. Right through here, it's pretty soft. On the outer edges, it's pretty rough. My neck and my décolleté here is very rough because I had a lot more. I'd never had this part lasered before. That's probably going to need more lasers, to be honest with you. Secondly, this is the Clé de Peau emulsion. This is the intensive fortifying emulsion. This is really suggested for people who have, frankly, oily skin as a moisturizer. I've been using it as a primer, a moisturizing primer, actually, for, wow, months now. And I mentioned it before, but I haven't really mentioned how much I really like this product. Like, it is excellent. Now, again, it's very lightweight. It's kind of like, it's like a serum, like a serum-y gel. And really, it's a very lightweight moisturizer. And I have to tell you, like, this has replaced a lot of my products that I used before as like an intensifying primer. So my Guerlain watery oil, there's a bunch of other ones that are sort of dupes for the watery oil. I like this better. It's not that I don't like the Guerlain. I think the Guerlain is extremely good, but I think the Clé de Peau works better for me. And again, I've only started using it again today because I waited 5 days and only used the products that my practitioner gave me to use for my face. I am very much a believer that if you go to somebody to get your lasers or Botox or whatever you get done, that you should follow their instructions. If you trust them enough to inject, frankly, botulism into your face and laser off your skin, you should trust them enough to use the products that they recommend. So I did not use anything else. I just used what she gave me. But starting today, I used the polisher from Amora Visa. I used the Clé de Peau emulsion. You can see how quickly it sinks into my skin because my skin is still extremely dry. And then the Queen of Hungry Mist, which is again Amora Visa. This mist is like a lifesaver. I don't know what I would do without this. My skin is so dry in the winter. It's so bad. So what I'm doing today as foundation, this is the Bare Minerals sweatshirt. You can kind of see it. It's a little big on me, but I love it because I love big sweatshirts. I'm one of those people. Again, I think it's a New England thing, you know, it's freezing out. Best thing for you is like a huge sweatshirt and like comfy socks. So Bare Minerals sent me the new and better than ever Barepro 24-hour skin perfecting pressed powder foundation. So this is a foundation that I actually checked with her and she was like, yeah, it's the perfect thing to wear. You can wear other types of foundation. It's not that. It's just generally if you are getting a laser treatment or something, you have to remember your face has like basically little holes all over it. It is better not to use anything on your skin that's going to sink into that or irritate your skin. So there are a number of different shades on here and it goes from fair to deep. I have to say there are some actual deep shades in here, which I'm impressed with Bare Minerals. They've done a decent job. The lightest shade they have is Fair 10 Cool, which I do have. So I'm going to try that one because I think that's probably what I am, but we'll see. There's a Fair 15 Cool, and those are the cool ones. For neutral fair, there's a Fair 10 Neutral, a Fair 15 Neutral, and a Fair 17 Neutral. I have the Fair 10 Neutral and the Fair 15 Neutral. There's also warm. There's a warm 10 in Fair and a warm 15. Of course, I am not warm skinned. So Bare Minerals at least has watched some of my videos or at least looked at my pictures and sent me like perfect shades. So I really appreciate that, Bare Minerals. Thank you. And then there's light, there's medium deep, and then there's deep. So, you know, they try to capture, I think, a decent spectrum. So in the formula, it's clean ingredients, 24-hour skin perfecting pressed powder formula, offers not only incredible long wear and high performance, skin improving formula, brightening pineapple complex with licorice root, cocoa butter and shea butter, peony flour, and sugarcane derived squalene. Interesting. Clean, vegan, non-comedogenic, hypoallergenic, dermatologic tested, blah, 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 blah. And ideal for all skin types. Can be applied dry for a soft natural look or wet for fuller coverage, which I think is very interesting. I'm going to do dry because I don't need fuller coverage. And I wanted to do this video, one, because Bare Minerals sent this to me and it was very kind of them, but also because I do get a lot of questions about, you know, what do you do? What do you do when your skin isn't looking great? Like, I mean, I've been very lucky in my life. I've been able to get a lot of laser treatments and my skin has improved over the years, but what do you do when it's not? Like, what do you do when your skin is super red or, you know, you've just had lasers and you don't want to go out without makeup, which is fair. I mean, I understand. So I wanted to do this video because it's not just, and yes, I will title it something like more mature skin because I think it tends to affect people who are older more, but it can happen at any age. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with age. Your skin can be uncooperative at any age. So let's do the Fair 10 Cool. Let's swatch it on my hand. This is what the compact looks like. And there is a little teeny, what are these things called? Okay, you know what I'm trying to say. Pad thing underneath that you can use. And again, you can use this wet. So you can make this, you know, a more intense formula. That's the Cool. And then we have the Fair 10 Neutral. And again, I'm going to swatch all of these, but that gives you an idea. And then the Fair 15. Okay, so let's put them on the back of my hand. Let's see what we think. Well, actually, let's put them here so we can get it better. And let's do the Cool first, Fair Cool. It feels really nice. It feels very smooth. Yeah, it feels very nice. I like that. That's probably my shade. Let's be honest. Neutral is here. Maybe neutral though. I don't know. We'll try it on my face too. Like swatches on my face. So, and then the 15. Yeah, 15's too deep. So it's either the 10 Cool or 10 Neutral. So let's put the 15 aside. Let's try the Fair 10 Cool. And again, remember, my skin is very textured right now. So if it works for me, it's probably going to work for you because you can't really see it. But if you felt my skin, it feels like sandpaper. Okay, so here's the Cool. Here's the Neutral. I think I'm going to go with the neutral, actually, because I think it will neutralize the redness and match my neck more. Let's try it. I'm going to use a little sponge. I'm going to press into the skin. I find for me that works better than like sweeping. Put a little more over the cheeks, because the cheeks are the reddest part of me right now. Wow, that worked really well. Okay. And my chin. My chin. When she was zapping my chin, I was like, ow, ow, ow. I mean, I didn't say that out loud, but I was thinking it. I was like, oh, it's very painful. Because I have a lot of redness, like right here. I think a lot of people do. I don't think it's just me. And around my nose. Those are the two most painful spots, by the way, guys. Right around your nose and under your eyes. Which is why that swelled, that was like very swollen. And it still is. But I mean, honestly, when I first wake up in the morning, it's a little rough. It's much better now, but it's, you know, the first couple days, if you've never had laser before, you might be a little scared, about how you look, but you know, it's temporary, and, you can see by my face that it eventually, you know, tones down. Now I'm putting on a little more than I normally would, to be honest with you, because I want you to see how much coverage you can get without wetting it. And if you wet it, you're gonna get even more. Wow, that's a lot of coverage. It actually looks quite nice. I'm looking at a 10x mirror, and I've told you guys this before, never ever look at a 10x mirror for your makeup, because nobody can see you that well. In fact, I have 20/20 vision, which is surprising for my age. I'm sure it's gonna go soon, so don't trust me, I'm not getting cocky about it. Nobody can see you as well as the 10x mirror can. Nobody can see those imperfections except for you in that 10x mirror. So don't stress about it. Don't look at it and be like, oh my goodness, that's what I look like. You don't. I only do it so that I make sure the applications are as perfect as possible, so you know you can see how they look, but seriously, you look fine. So now I'm gonna take my handy dandy Anissa brush, which is my favorite brush for foundation, and I'm just gonna sort of pounce it in, make sure it's well blended. I find this brush to be perfect for everything. If you don't own this brush, you should own this brush. It's the only time I'll, like, if you've watched me for a while, and by the way, if you haven't watched me before, hi, my name is Jennifer. I was a makeup artist for Chanel half a lifetime ago, and here on my channel, we do all things luxury. I would love it if you go down and hit that subscribe button. I would love you to be part of the family and hit the notification bell so that you never miss anything. If you have watched, though, before, you'll know that I practically never say, go buy this, because I feel like, first of all, it's just my opinion. I'm just here giving you my opinion. I feel like it's a pretty researched and experienced opinion, but it's just mine. So, you know, feel free to do with it what you'd like. But every once in a while, I'll be like, go buy this. And when I say that, it's because of my, you know, let's see, 25 years of experience really working with makeup. I was playing with makeup when I was 5, but let's not count that. I find a product to be the best that I've ever found. And this Anissa brush is one of those products. If you don't like this brush, let me know, but I'd be surprised. Like, it works with everything. It works with powder, it works with liquids, it works with creams, it works on oily skin, it works on dry skin. It's fantastic. Now, I know at the moment my skin looks a little light to you, and that's because to be honest, no one's used to seeing my skin the same color as my neck because of the rosacea. It always looks a little bit deeper. That's actually the color of my skin. So, what do we think? That is impressive, Bare Minimals. I gotta give it to you. Looks good. It even looks good in the 10x mirror, which is saying something. It doesn't look dry. It feels super soft. I mean, that has something to do with my exfoliation this morning. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Amore Visa spray, because this is what I do when I use a powder, and just let it sit for a couple minutes. I feel like it makes a huge difference in my skin. Not telling you all to use it, but for me, whatever. So I think this looks absolutely fantastic, actually. Wow. Okay. It really does. It looks great. Now, here's my other tricks, if you will. They're not really tricks, they're just advice about what to do when your skin is really rough and very dry and dehydrated. And why do I say this happens to older people more than younger people, and why am I putting this in the mature makeup category? In my experience, when you're young, generally you don't have dehydrated skin. Some people do. I actually did for a long time because I was sick. I had a lot of autoimmune problems. It does happen, but generally as you get older, that's when you experience the crepiness, the dryness, the dehydration, we don't drink enough water, all those things. So, and that is akin to what happens when you also get your face lasered. So these types of products are going to work really well for you if you have those issues. Again, whether you're 20 or 80, but it does seem to be more prevalent in people over the age of, let's say, 40. Okay? So this is the Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Bronzer and Shaping Serum. Why am I using this instead of a regular bronzer, a powder bronzer? Generally, when you have, and by the way, this comes in a pump and you can take it out and get a little sculpting wand. You're gonna have dehydration in your skin. You don't wanna use too much powder. Now, I will tell you, this foundation actually, this powder foundation is actually very creamy, and I'm surprised at how well it's working, because usually the problem with powder foundations and dry skin is that although the mineral foundations are good for somebody who's had lasers, they don't feel great because your skin is already dry. This one actually feels pretty good so far. So that's why they probably are calling it new and improved, because I think it's better for drier, dehydrated skin. It has more, it's more like hydration to it. You don't want to put too much powder on your face, like powder over powder over powder, because powder, just as its nature, tends to be a little more, it looks a little bit more drying on your face. It's why people who have oily skin will set their face with powder. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Powder soaks up oil. Think about it just like with, just regular powder that you put on your body. You put on, powder to soak up sweat and oil and all that stuff. And that's totally, we all do that. Well, hopefully we all do that. But that's how it works. And so if you put powder on powder on powder and your skin is already dehydrated, most of the time it's not going to look great. There are folks out there who have dehydrated skin and oily. That's a different question that we can get into. But if your skin is dehydrated and looks like a Triscuit, this is what I would suggest. All right, so the next product again is Clé de Peau. And I can tell you right off the top of my mind here, if you're looking for a line, like some people love that. Some people want a line. So in other words, they want to buy everything from one brand, which is fine. Go with Clé de Peau. Trust me on this. It is expensive, but it's worth it. If you're dealing with those types of skin issues, go with Clé de Peau. For older, mature, drier skin, I'm telling you. You'll thank me later. Clé de Peau has cream blushes. Now, I don't have many of them, and I keep saying I'm going to purchase them, and then I have to purchase all these new releases to show all of you. Don't get me wrong, I know I'm complaining about like a stupid thing because I'm thrilled to have the new releases, but I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh, Jennifer, you need to like pick up the Clé de Peau blushes. So I have a couple, but these are special edition cream blushes. I don't have too many. I only have one of the regular line. This is shade 4. It's my favorite shade. That's why I keep going back to it. But I need to pick up the rest because these are so good. They're so good. And for a cream blush, there's a bunch that I like. Chanel has some really good ones. RMS, there's a bunch. There really are. But Clé de Peau's are the best, in my opinion, for somebody who has dehydrated, sensitive skin. And my skin is sensitive most of the time anyway, but after the laser treatment, and like I said, it's only been 6 days, I'm sorry, 6 days, you definitely want to go with a product that doesn't have any ingredients in it that you think are going to possibly irritate your skin. And there's very few brands that I trust more than Clé de Peau. I have been using Clé de Peau for a long time, and I really trust their brand to have ingredients that aren't going to bother me, which says a lot because I have all kinds of problems with skin issues. So I'm going to take my Anissa brush again and just, kind of pouncing it in because, again, I don't need extra pink. I just got rid of the pink with the powder. Doesn't that look great? I mean, it looks like I look healthy even though my skin, if you got up really close, well, you know what? In the 10X mirror, you can hardly tell either. But I can feel it. It's tight and it's itchy and Triscuity. I know you don't know what a Triscuit is, most of you, but if you do, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so next, lipstick, liner. So I would say if you're gonna do a lipstick and your skin is like this, you can see my lips. They are, believe it or not, exfoliated. I have exfoliated my lips this morning and they still look like this. And I've also been wearing, like, I can't tell you how many layers of lip balms. There's actually a couple lip balms I really like. The one that's the best is the, oh my goodness, I just forgot the name of it. It starts with an R. Rehab? Revolve? No, that's not right. Shoot. I'll put it down below. It is the best one. It doesn't taste great if you get it in your mouth. It's not shiny. It's not any of those things. Why can't I remember the name? Yeah, but it's the best one. It works the best. However, at this point, there's only so much I can do because it's so dry. There's no humidity. Like, it snowed the other day and the snow is so fluffy because there's no moisture in there. None. So my lips are just dry. There's two things I recommend. Tom Ford liner. Why the Tom Ford liner? Two reasons. One, it's creamy, so it's not going to drag on your lips when you put it on. Yet, it sets down and it won't bleed on you. I have heard from like one person that said it did bleed on them, which I find interesting. If that's you, or if you feel like everything bleeds on you, you need to go with a pencil that is like the old school pencils. It has like wood in it and the core is the pencil. It's gonna be dry though when you put it on, like the old school MAC pencils. They're dry. Put on a little bit of lip, not a lot, a little bit of lip balm, and then it'll go on smoother. Use those because those things do not smudge or bleed. They're very dry. That's why they don't bleed. But if you're not that person, if you don't have super problems bleeding, use a Tom Ford. It's gonna go on smoothly. It's gonna be easy to put on, and then it's not gonna bleed for you. So if you have more mature skin, you have lines outside your lips, it's not gonna bleed. Then you grab I'm looking for it, the Clé de Peau. Now this is the sparkly one. I forget the actual name of this. Let me see if I can get the name. They make these things so tiny now. Like I said, I have 20/20 vision and I can't see it. It's the Clé de Peau Cream Rouge Sparkles. There's also just Cream Rouge. I'm using sparkles, because I feel like this will brighten up my face a little bit to have a little bit of sparkle where the rest of my face looks kind of dry. See what I mean? Like it makes everything look a little bit more juicy. It's a phenomenal formula. All of these, whether it's the sparkly ones or just the creams, are phenomenal. The product's been around for a while. They reformulated and came out with new formulas a couple years ago, and they are excellent. The only drawback, in my mind, is the cost. They are very expensive. They do have a 2-year shelf life though. So they last a lot longer than a lot of other glosses and cream products do. I gotta give props to them for doing that because at least they have 24 months. I would definitely choose these over practically anything else if you can afford them. And hopefully, you can find a sale as well. But these are phenomenally good. And again, if you have really dry lips, if you have lots of lines, if they are, looking a little bit like mine, go with the Clé de Peau. Next is highlighter. I would really recommend the Yves Saint Laurent Nude. I don't recommend a powder because I just feel like a powder highlighter, even if it's a really good one, even if it's a Chanel one, I think when your skin is this dry and this textured, I think it's a mistake to use a powder. That's me. Again, this is my opinion and my opinion only, but I feel like something very light and very, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a little bit of luminosity is a much better way to go. The Saint Laurent Nude, I think, is an excellent product highlighter. This is the one that's my favorite. I think it's pink. Rosy Quartz. And it is a little bit pink. So if you don't like a pink one, get a gold one. But it's extremely good. It does have a little bit of luminosity, but I promise you it's not too much. The whole new line, NU from Saint Laurent, is meant to be like very not there type of makeup. Like, just you but better. That's kind of the point. So, okay, let's get to eyes. So, you know which brand I'm going to tell you to use. And it's Clé de Peau. So, I don't know what to tell you. I have a lot of these eyeshadows, and I wanted to tell you the exact ones that I had because I've been asked a bunch of times, and I figure if I do it all in one video, you'll know. I have number 3, number 4, number 10, number 11, and number 12. The one I'm using today is 3. It's sun-dried driftwood. It's one of the best if you want, of all the colors they have, if you want a very light, cool leaning, but not purple look. It's phenomenally good. And I'll show it to you in just a second. I'm just gonna put the cream shade on my eye. So the reason Clé de Peau is my go-to if we're talking mature skin is 2 reasons. One, again, the ingredients in here are not gonna irritate your skin. They are meant for skin that, in my opinion, they are meant for skin that is a little bit more mature. And it has an aesthetic that's very soft, very elegant, very beautiful. And this cream shade is a primer, but there is pigment to this. And when you put it on your eyes, you could just do that as a one and done, put on a little liner and a little mascara and walk out the door. Or if you want to do a little bit more of a look, which I will do today, you use that and then you put the other shades on and this look is not going anywhere. It's not. It's not fading, it's not moving, it's not transferring. And for people who have more mature skin, one of the things that I hear most of the time is the transfer issue. So this is the way to go. Now, this is not going to be a video about hooded eyes. I am going to do one, but I do want to say one thing. There's a difference between a hooded eye and a sagging eye. As you get older, the skin here loosens, and sometimes it loosens completely, like you get a fold. And sometimes it's what surgeons will call, what do they call it? It's a tricky eye or complex eye, I can't remember now. But basically what it means is that it's not uniform. Parts of the eye will be a little lower than other parts, and it's not seamless. It's not just one, level piece of skin. It actually has wrinkles in the skin itself. And it's difficult when your eye is like that to really figure out where you're gonna put a shadow. So it's not as simple as just having a hooded lid or a heavy lid. It's different. So what I would suggest you do is take a very small pencil brush or a liner brush, and when you look straight ahead, literally look straight ahead like you're talking to someone, because that's how most people are going to see you. Nobody cares what your eye looks like when your eyes are closed. Nobody's going to watch you when your eyes are closed, or at least they shouldn't, because that's weird. Just look straight ahead, look in the mirror, and take your brush, your thin, small brush, and literally line where the crease, where you want it. Whether or not that's the actual crease of your eye or another part of your skin on your lid does not matter. All you're doing when you do this is setting it up so that when you do close your eye and move your lid, because everyone does it when they put their shadow on, they go like this. Everyone does, because you're trying to, get a smooth application. You'll know where the line is. You'll be like, oh yes, I drew it on very lightly. Now watch what happens when I close my eye. If you notice, where the line is not exactly where the crease of my eyeball is. It's a little bit above it. That's okay. No, it doesn't matter. No one cares. So you have it now lined for you, and you have like an area. You're like, oh, that's where the deeper shade needs to go. So then you go in with a little bit of a, crease brush, and you draw over that. And now you have your crease. And that's going to work for you if you have a heavier lid or a tricky lid or whatever you want to call it. Regardless of how the skin is, because what you've done is you've created your own crease. That's your crease. And practice. It takes a little bit of practice. That's all. You'll get it. You'll just do it a couple times and you'll be like, oh, now I got it. That's going to help you a lot. Just draw it first and then do the look. What also helps is a very light shade in your brow bone to lighten this up, which is why I talk often when I have a quad or a quint that doesn't have a light shade in it and I kind of complain a little bit. It's because if you are dealing with more mature skin and your lids are a little heavier or, you know, more textured, you need the brightness under your brow to kind of pull an eye upwards. And I mean someone else's eye. When they're looking at you, it pulls your face upwards to the person looking at the look. So you want to keep this part bright, but not super shiny or sparkly, because that can actually make it look lower. I know, it's so aging, right? But I also think that aging is fabulous, because as you age, you learn so much that you didn't know when you were younger. So use it to your advantage. Now take a deep shade with a very small brush and go over the crease that you've created on the outside. So you're just going to deepen that up on the outside of the eye. Do not run it through the entire eye, because if you run it through the entire eye, you're weighting it down again, okay? And then do a line up here, kind of like you're going up to your eyebrow, like just like there was like a line all the way to your eyebrow, to the tail end. See how I did that? Do the exact same thing on the other side. Just line up to your eyebrow. And you can take off extra later, it's fine. So don't worry about it. Like Julia Child used to say when she was cooking, when something fell on the floor, you can pick it up, it's fine. Don't stress about it, it's just makeup. All fixed. Not a big deal. You can also go over with a concealer brush, or you can do your eye makeup first, which is probably the better way to do it, but I often don't, because it's not how I was taught. And that's it. Like, don't do anything else. Take a soft brush. You can take a super big brush or a smaller brush, it's up to you. And make sure there's nothing on it at all. And just lightly go over the entire look to make sure it's blended. Don't overdo it. Just keep a light look on your eyes and keep most of the lid light. Because what's happening is most of the area in here that's sagging, that needs to be kept light. The only part that's dark is the part that you want to go back, that you've drawn on your face saying, that's my crease. Everything else is light except for the outside, which again is deep because you're pulling your eye upward. Then I would take a waterproof eyeliner. Now my favorite, as you know, because I've talked about it like a million times, is the Chanel waterproof liners. This is in a shade that no longer exists, and I don't know how to pronounce. Feuilles, F-E-U-I-L-L-E-S. It's a deep grayish black shade, and it's beautiful. Keep it only on the outside. Do not line your entire eyelashes, your eyeline with it. Take a very tiny brush, blend it in. Make sure that when you go on the outer corner, you're pulling up again towards the end of your eyebrow. Just make that your goal line. End of your eyebrow, end of your eyebrow. Now I'm going to put on mascara. What mascara would I recommend if you're dealing with transfer? I love the Sweet Beauty. I have been told by some people that Sweet Beauty transfers for them, which is interesting. I don't have that problem. But if you really do have that problem, I think it's because my skin under here is so dry, it's not an issue for me. Caloray. Caloray is clean mascara, and I have never had this transfer even in the rain. I wore this downtown Boston once when I literally was caught in a rainstorm and it didn't move. So if this transfers on you, tell me and I'll see what else I can find. But I've never had this thing move. This is supposed to be, I don't know if it's waterproof or water resistant. I don't know what they claim. I have found it to be waterproof, but I don't know if they claim that. So let me see what they say and I'll make sure it's below. But I would suggest the Caloray. So I'm going to curl my lashes and put the Caloray on so you can see what it looks like. Mascara is on, and like I said, if this transfers on you, let me know. I'd be very surprised if the Caloray transfers. Like I said, I literally was caught in a rainstorm and it didn't move. So I think it's really good for people who have that issue. Overall, I have to say, the Bare Minerals is holding up extremely well. It looks really nice on the skin. It's not irritating. It doesn't itch at all. It doesn't look dry. I'll make sure we do some close-ups to see. You can see what it looks like with the other products on it. I am not having any problems, reactions, issues, anything. I think this is an excellent choice if a couple of things. One, you're looking for a powder foundation. Two, you have very sensitive skin. Three, if you're looking for something that is really good on dehydrated, dry skin, I think this works. I think if you've had laser treatment, this is like the perfect product. And yeah, I think overall this is excellent. I have to say the finish looks really good. Like, you can't tell that it's powder at all. Like, I'm kind of at a loss. Like, it doesn't look like a powder foundation. It looks like a cream foundation on my skin. I love the little powder puff. I love the fact that you could do it wet or dry. That's awesome. For me, I am definitely fair 10 neutral. I think the cool one would work on me as well. I just think it's a little too cool, but you know what I'm gonna do? Because I'm just interested to see if what this does. I'm gonna use it under the eye because I feel like maybe if I put a little bit of coolness under the eye, it would almost work as like a brightener. Let's just see what it does. Yeah, I think I could get away with the cool one. I'm not saying that it would look bad. I don't think it would, but I think I'm more neutral. We'll see. I'll use different ones and try them out. It's very smooth. Like, it's super smooth. What do you think? How's that? I think that actually did brighten it up a little bit. It's really nice. It's extremely creamy. Regardless of whether or not you had my face lasered, I would wear this. Like, I think it looks really good. And you know, what I want to do when I'm trying it out different ways, I want to use it with just a fluffier brush to see how it looks. Like, not try to cover. Like, today I'm trying to cover more because of the laser. But like on a normal day, if I was just going to, you know, throw it in my purse kind of thing, like, could I just do a little brush on and it would give me a little bit of coverage, but not a lot? Yeah, I actually really like the way the cool one worked under my eyes. Interesting. I'm gonna have to try that all over the face too. So let me know if you have any questions, any, you know, comments, put them down below. Bare Minerals, thank you so much for sending these to me. And for my sweatshirt, I absolutely love it. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.